Module 13.2 is volume of cones. If you look at the formula, it's the same formula as cylinders, except for it's 1/3. That means a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder. So you're just going to take 1/3 times pi times radius squared times height. So same thing that we just did, except for you're going to take it times 1/3. So 1/3 pi r squared times your height. So you're going to fill in what you were given. Again, we're going to leave pi because you may have to do an exact. The radius is 3 squared times your height, which is 10. And all that's given up here in your problem. Okay, so I have 1/3 times pi, 3 squared is 9, times 10. I can simplify this because 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 3 1 time. So then I multiply, I just have 30, 3 times 10, right? 30 pi. And then this is inches cubed. Again, this is an exact answer. But if they want you to get an approximation using 3.14, you would take 30 times 3.14, which gives you approximately 94.2 inches cubed. Okay, let's go ahead and try the next one. Again, your formula is 1/3, so you're going to be dividing by 3 or taking it times 1/3. Pi r squared times your height. But in this case, we were given diameter. So if the diameter is 12, that means your radius would have only been half of that, or 6. So 1/3 pi, your radius is 6, square that, times your height of 4. So volume is 1/3 pi. If we square 6, we get 36 times 4. Again, I can simplify because 3 goes into 36 12 times, so that just leaves 1. So 12 times 4 gives me 48 pi. So in your calculator, you could find, and this could be inches, oh no, centimeters, sorry, centimeters cubed for an exact. Now to find an approximation, we're going to take it times pi being 3.14. So you're going to put in your calculator 48 times 3.14, which is 150.72 centimeters cubed. Let's go ahead and do your guided practice. So open up to page 408. Okay, so guided practice starts on page 408. The first one says the area of the base of a cylinder is 45 square inches and its height is 10 inches. A cone has the same area for its base and the same height. What is the volume? Well, we know, let's do our cylinder here, is area of the base times the height, which would be 45, right? And then the height was 10, so that'd be 450. Now we know a cone is 1/3 of that. So we're going to take 1/3 of that 450, right? So basically you can divide that by 3 or take it times 1/3, and that gives you 150. So the volume of the cone is 150 inches cubed. Question 2 says a cone and a cylinder have congruent height and bases. The volume of the cone is 18 meters cubed. What is the volume of the cylinder? Explain. So the volume of the cone is 18. We know it's 1/3 of the cylinder, so we'd have to take that times 3. So the volume of the cylinder is going to be 54 meters cubed. Okay, and how do we know that? We know the volume of a cylinder is 3 times the volume of a cone from our formula. On 3 and 4, it says to find the volume of each cone and round your answer to the nearest tenth if necessary, and to use 3.14 for pi. So volume is going to be 1/3 pi r squared times your height. So we already decided we're using 3.14, so we'll fill that in for pi now. If this whole thing is 6, right, that means your radius is 3. So 3 squared times 7. So 1/3 times 3.14 times 9 times 7. It might be easiest just to simplify right now, or you could divide by 3 when you're done. But I'm going to simplify by dividing by 3 right now. 3.14 times 3 times 7 gives me approximately 65.94. So I'm just going to say 9. And I'm going to label that feet cubed. Okay, on the next one, go ahead and write your formula. Volume equals 1/3 pi r squared times your height. Again, 1/3, and pi was 3.14. That's what they told us to use. Your radius is 33. That's given to you already. And your height is 100. So I'm going to square 33. So 1/3 times 3.14 times 10,089 times 100. I'm going to divide 1,089 divided by 3. 3 goes in there 363 times. So times 3.14 times the 363 times 100. And I get 113,982, and this is inches cubed. So make sure you're using your calculator. You could multiply everything, 1 times 3.14 times 1,089 times 100 equals, and then divide by 3, or you can simplify. Whatever makes sense to you. Okay, then we have word problems. Gretchen made a paper cone to hold a gift for a friend. The paper cone was 15 inches high and had a radius of 3. Find the volume of the paper cone to the nearest tenth. And we're going to use 3.14. So volume is going to be 1/3 pi r squared times your height. And make sure you're writing all this down, you guys. 1/3, they said to use 3.14. Your radius was 3 squared times your height of 15. So volume is going to be 1/3 times 3.14. 3 squared is 9 times 15. Again, I'm going to get rid of that 3 and take it into 9 3 times. So all I have left is 3.14 times 3 times 15. We're going to round to the nearest tenth, it says. So that's going to give me 141.3 inches cubed. 141.3 inches cubed. On the next problem, it says a cone-shaped building is commonly used to store sand. What would be the volume of a cone-shaped building with a diameter of 50 meters and a height of 20? Again, you're using 3.14. So if the diameter is 50, the radius would have to be 25, right? So let's go ahead and fill that in again. Volume equals 1/3 pi r squared times height. Make sure you're writing these out so you know what you're doing. 1/3 pi is 3.14. We already decided your radius is 25 and the height is 20. Okay, so I'm just going to use my calculator. I'm going to skip the 1/3 right now. 3.14 times 25, square that, times 25 times 20. Okay, and then I'm going to push equals, and then I'm going to divide by 3. So the volume is going to be 13083. So 13,083, and then it's 0.3 repeating. So if we're rounding to the nearest tenth, we're just going to say 13,083.3 meters cubed. And then the last one says, how do you find the volume of the cone? Well, volume is going to equal 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So that's how you find it. You could say, you can find 1/3 of the volume of a cylinder that has that same base and same height is how you're doing it. Okay?